everybody. Welcome to our 9th Realty Coffee Talk Global Connectivity Network on real estate. Today is the 24th of November, and we're going to start the program. We're great honored that Pauline Aunger, she is a former president of Canadian Real Estate Association, Ontario Real Estate Association, and also board director of THUR. And she's a legendary. I'm going to show you her profile, and after her presentation, then I will do a small presentation of market. So I'm going to share my screen to show you the agenda and a program, and we'll continue with that. So the goal of Realty Coffee Talk is to create connectivity, increase awareness, and building consumer confidence in real estate and promote good ethics and business practices. And agenda, we have already started. I'm going to do the introduction, and then we're going to have an introduction of our chief guest, and she's going to do the presentation. Then we have a Q&A session. Then I'll do the market update. And we'll have an introduction and network, because we may have a new friends, and then we talk about. So here's the why is important. The word is in your hand. You are a CIPS, Certified International Property Specialist. The Global Real Estate Professional Network is a powerful global connectivity network to get to know each other, building long-term relationship, and facilitate business collaboration among its members. My goal is to ignite the spirit of connectivity and cooperation within our Global Real Estate Professional Network, more confidence to make referral to our clients to CIPS in their respective jurisdiction. We are professionally governed by highest professional standard of practice of CIPS designee of THUR. So here is our guest speaker, Pauline Aunger. She's also CIPS and FRI. And Pauline has been involved in the real estate profession as a realtor for 40 years. She served as a 2015 president of Real Estate Association, was the 2009 president of Ontario Real Estate Association, and in 2017 served on the board of directors of National Association of Realtors, NAR. Pauline presently serves on the Advisory Council for Royal LePage Real Estate nationally as the president-elect of the Ontario Realtors Care Foundation. And that's the organization that do all the charity work and raise funds and support those charities. And 2021 chair of the CREA Global Committee. We will learn from her what initiative the CREA is taking in partnership with NAR and us. And in 1993, she purchased the first Royal LePage franchise in Canada. She is the broker of record for Royal LePage Advantage Real Estate with office in Perth, one of the prettiest town in Ontario, and Smith Falls, the home of Tweed, the largest marijuana manufacturer in Ontario. So Pauline obtained her CIPS designation in 2014. She also has ABR and her FRI from Real Estate Institute of Canada. So I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to ask Pauline. I'm going to share the screen so you can do your presentation. Welcome, Pauline.
There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure, and I'm pleased to be here. And I always love presenting about Canada, because I'm obviously a very proud Canadian realtor. But I've been involved in organized real estate for so long that I sometimes, forget how fast the world is still changing. And I'm still a very active realtor. I run a small brokerage with 2 small offices, but every day I go out just like everyone else and try to sell something. And so in order to do my succession plan, I gave birth to a daughter who's a realtor. So it's always good to have a succession plan. So 2021 is, of course, already a record year for Canadian home sales. It's amazing. The statistics from CREA come out monthly. And so this is actually, they come out mid-month for the previous month. So this is October's, up to October. And so again, home sales rose again in October. For those of us actively involved, there was no surprise there. The monthly activity, though, was down on a year-to-year basis from the same month in 2020. But, and for the first time, this is interesting, the number of newly listed properties rose from September to October by a mere 3.2%, so barely a rise. So it's interesting because, again, you know, MLS systems, and one of the great things about the way organized real estate works here, of course, is the fact that the Canadian Real Estate Association owns Realtor.ca, and the majority of the practitioners in Canada are realtors. So across the country, about, you know, over 95% of all activity is through CREA's MLS system and the public portal on Realtor.ca. So sales were up month over month in 3/4 of all the markets in and in all of our major cities. So it's interesting to see. The prediction was that we would outpace 2020, and we have so far. That there have been almost 600,000 homes as of the end of October trade, compared to 550,000 roughly the previous year. And when I always think of Canada versus US sales, I always say we're just like a small fraction of what you see in the US. So the gain for this year in real estate, the national average has been 18.2%. So that's an amazing number. And certainly, as we were talking about before we started, for sellers, it's been just a happy time. So when you look at, there's, you know, our 10-year historical and the forecast on the average. And so you can see where the prediction is for 2022, because here spoke about that. So they are predicting a less vibrant market. And I'd like to remind everybody that the pandemic did not solely cause what we're in. We were already in a market with very low inventory as we came into the pandemic. The pandemic just caused it to be even more difficult to find listings. So there's an interesting thing on what's going on in terms of the average sale, and look at how it's rising. So interestingly, the market's not the same across all of Canada. So this is the 21 forecast. There's the average change by markets last year. And if you look, you have, you know, for example, Alberta, which is our big oil and gas province, did not have a great percentage change, versus, you know, a province like British Columbia, where of course Vancouver has always had a brisk market, having over 21%. And looking at Ontario, so there's your average percent change. Remember, Ontario has a huge amount of small towns versus just Toronto, which seems to always get lots of talk about their activity. But when you look at the annual percentage change for 2021, looking at, you know, big numbers again, it's very interesting to look at how the percentages have risen, especially in Alberta, which was not getting much the previous year. Their market is rebounding, whereas, you know, Ontario's average percentage change is going up as well. So you look at the forecast for 2021 is the average sale price will be $656, and the forecast for next year is that will drop off slightly. So you're looking at, again, there's the average price forecast, and you're looking at how interesting all the markets have been. And I always say you need to, when referring, you have to talk to a local realtor. They know where the market is, because just like each of you, you're the authority in your market. I like to think that as a professional, you are the person who speaks for your market. So it's going to be very interesting to see going forward. in 2022, because as we are all hopeful, the pandemic will come to an end and our markets will start to stabilize because they've been very volatile. And for all of us, listing and selling, it's been hard to price homes, and it's been hard to tell our buyers what price they should be paying for a house. So the other thing is, and it was mentioned in my bio, I was last year the chair of CREA's Global. One of the things I'm proud to say, as the CREA president in 2015, I was very instrumental in pushing our global agenda ahead. I think that, again, connecting to international markets is very, very important. Realtor.ca gets lots of eyes on that platform from around the world. It's interesting because when you look at who's looking at Canadian real estate, always the #1 city is Toronto. There's no surprise ever there. Number 2, again, I'm going to break it up and tell you, it's interesting what country looks at which provinces, but Calgary, Ottawa, Vancouver, Montreal, Mississauga, Oakville, London, Ontario, Victoria, BC, and Windsor, Ontario are all very popular. The top 10 cities that are searched by international buyers, and that's the Q2 statistics for this year. So it's interesting because Realtor.ca brings eyes on it from all around the world. And it's amazing because it's the #1 platform for all of our listings in Canada. Far out surpasses the traffic on it is far greater than any other platform. So it's whether you're a brand, whatever, Realtor.ca is the #1 platform for that. Interestingly enough, when you look at who's looking from what countries, for example, if you took India, the people in India are looking more at Toronto and Brampton and Mississauga and Calgary and Vancouver, whereas you look at Germany, they're looking at Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Ottawa, and Calgary. But you'll look, many of the same cities appear. Obviously, when you look across the thing, every country looks to Toronto. Toronto is our largest city. It is, of course, the largest city in Canada, but also in Ontario. So lots of international buyers are looking there. But interestingly enough, and Vancouver, of course, in British Columbia is second on many markets, but lots of other ones. If you look at Ottawa is the nation's capital. So it appears, in different places, but lots of people, I live 45 minutes outside the capital of Canada. And so it's interesting to watch how many international buyers are looking in our area. But I wanted to tell you, it's interesting, the prediction for next year, and CREA comes out and changes, as the market continues during the year, what they're predicting. But, we have had an incredibly robust market this year, and I think we're going to see that continue, but not perhaps in the same, craziness that we've all experienced in 2021. It seems to be stabilizing a bit in lots of markets, especially this fall. You talk to realtors, they're finding, some of the buyers have stepped out of the market. And as Mary was saying, when you're a seller, where do you buy next is the big question. A statistic was just announced yesterday that 25% of all the market in 2021 went to people who were buying a second property. So it's interesting whether they were buying investment properties or whether they were buying, a secondary home. I sell in a very big waterfront area. And so we found lots of people during the pandemic, especially if they were in a high rise, they were in condos, they wanted a little more space. So they came out to buy waterfront. So that was kind of fascinating to watch. So it's an interesting statistic, and 22% of the first-time buyers, according to that survey, were also first-time home buyers. So one of the big things that the government of Canada and every city and every province faces is affordable housing. It's a crisis for first-time home buyers who often can't get into their markets. So it's interesting how people are moving further and further away to get an affordable house. So it'll be interesting to see. I said, having been in real estate for 4 decades, there's nothing that I don't love about the fact that I'm always surprised by what's going to happen. So hopefully that helps to hear. If I can certainly take any questions if anybody wants them, not that I guarantee an answer, but thank you again. Hope that gives you at least a little bit of what's going on.
Thank you very much, Pauline. It's greatly appreciated your presentation. Anyone has any questions about this before I start my presentation? That will be regarding GTA. As you can see, that Toronto is the main focus area, and I'm going to present you my presentation, talk about Toronto and why in this area. Mostly Toronto has, so yeah, Teresa, you want to say something?
So Pauline, Sharon actually, von Schoenberg and I spoke about it briefly in San Diego. Have the government communicated any additional conversations in reference to foreigners buying in Canada starting in January of 2022 of the 1% tax? Is that solidified?
There's still a lot of discussion, but yesterday or 2 days ago, the throne speech was given by the Governor General as the new government came into, the government was just elected, but they only took their seats this week. So
Yeah.
the government, number one on everybody's platform was housing, and it's not just foreign buyers. They're worried about the fact that people blind bid and it's putting the prices up, and they've made a statement that at least the Liberals who are in power have made a statement that they want to do something about that. But interestingly enough, it's not a federal issue, it's a provincial issue on how our industry is regulated. So, and there's lots of municipalities now looking at vacant taxes because there's a huge percentage of real estate that's left vacant. And so there's a huge discussion. It'll be interesting. I think we're going to see more because stuff unfolds very quickly, but we're about to have an election in Ontario next year. And again, affordable housing, everything to do with housing is sort of the big thing if you look at all the platforms. So I'll keep you posted.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Tricia, just to let you know that I did a 2-episode on Realty Coffee Talk. They are on my YouTube channel. Specifically, when the parties give their platform, what they plan to do, and a Liberal Party has certain things. So if you want to watch about all the potential changes coming to the housing market, this was a ploy to get vote, okay? Whether it's implemented because jurisdiction is the issue, because the municipalities, provincial government, federal government, there was an issue about bidding war, opening up things. So if you want to watch it or Realty Coffee Talk about the party platform, election platform, you can go to realtycoffeetalk.com. There is a 2-episode, and I got a member of parliament she was candidate. Now she became an MP, member of parliament. So I'm keeping eye on them and reminding all the viewers to go and ask your member of parliament what you have promised in the election. Are you going to implement it, or whether it's positive or negative comments? So please watch that program. That will give you all things that they have promised to implement.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. So I'm going to do the small presentation, and Pauline will be remaining with us. And if you have any question, feel free to ask. So I'm going to go back to my slide. So this is a GTA. When we talk about Toronto, this is the GTA. This is served by Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. And these are area, and we were talking about, this is a Toronto right here. This is Mississauga, my town, Brampton, Caledon. These are area that Pauline had mentioned that people have shown interest from various areas. So Pickering, this is on the east side. This is north, King City, and this is the area. This is the map. And once this presentation is finished, I will save my presentation and share with you as a slide. So this is information now. In September 20 to 21, we have in 11,033 transaction. In 21, we have a 9,046. So we have a reduction of 18%, minus 18%. In October, we are down now to minus 6.9%. That means transactions still are lower than 2020, but it has improved from September to October, from year to year. So you can see that we have a 10,000 in October 53, and we have a 9,783. So it's a minus 6.9%. This is a transaction overall, include all transactions. This is an average for majority type homes. I'm going to talk about very specific later on. So average selling price in September 20 was 960,000, and September was 1.136 million. 18.3% in September increase. In October to October, it increased October 968,535 to average price of 1,155,346. So 345, 19.3%. That means in October to October we increase, and I think Pauline mentioned about the national average about 18% or 18.2. So that tell you how everything is evolving. So new listing, we had 20,441 in September 20, and September 21 we have a 13,483, reduction of 34% in new listing. In October, we have a 17,806 in 2020, and October 21, we have a 11,741, 34.1%. So slightly more, less listing, new listing. So here is a property days on the market. In September, 22 days, and in September 21, 19 days, minus 13.6. In October was 24 days in October 20, and 21, 18 days, minus 25 days. That means they're coming and leaving. And this is a statistic about average sale prices. So when we talk about the Toronto, basically 416 is called Toronto. But if you talk about GTA, then you're talking about all surrounding city that I showed on the graphic. So average detached home. So these are the September one. Let's talk about the October one. A detached home in Toronto is 1.784 million. In 905 area is 1,459,000. This is, for example, Mississauga, Brampton, or I would say Milton. So average between the both of them is $1.54 million. And it doesn't specify is a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 1 garage, a double garage. It's an average. You have to go to a realtor, and this is why we are being a part of our global network, CIPS, that you hired. I'm a FRI and also CIPS, and we go and do our work to calculate the real value of the property, but this is an average property. So a semi-detached, like two houses together in 416 is 1.32229. In 416 Toronto, and GTA in 905 is 1,029,347. Average price 1,151,770. That's a townhome. Now townhome is 1 million already in 416, 1,025,000 townhome in 416, and 932,114 in 905, average 957. So if you're looking for Toronto property, you can tell your buyer client coming to Toronto, you're going to make a referral to me, is a 1,025,000 Canadian. Obviously, our client who are coming from overseas, particularly from US, they have advantage because there's a 20-25% exchange rate benefit. So they have a saving there. A condo unit is 739,647 and average in 416. It doesn't talk about 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom. 3 bedroom are way high. In 905 is 633,951 average. 705, 698 overall in GTA. So you can look at the year-over-year percentage. 416, detached home, 21.2% increase. 905, 29.7% increase. Semi-detached, 14.4% in October, and 31.5% 905. Because of affordability is an issue, shortage of supply, so people are moving away from the big town. It's still Toronto is the most favored one. And remember in my previous presentation that Toronto has a double land transfer tax. One is for the municipal tax and one is for the Ontario tax. So there are double tax and there are discounts for first-time home buyer. There is a 15% speculation tax on the foreign buyers. These are the things that we have presented. There will be some slides in this program which I show you, and I've shared that before. Townhouses, 23.5% increase from year over year, from last October, this October, and average price of a townhome in 905 has increased 28.6%. So condo, 10.6% increase in 416 and 17% in 905 area. So you can imagine that prices has not come down, is going up. So this gives you a market update month to month between 2020 and 2021. So you can look at this October, we had a 10,503, and average price was 968,535. In October, we have a 9,743 of 83, and average price 1,155,345. And November, and imagine, annual we have 95,070 transaction. Average price 2020 was 929,629. Now year to date, we are already 106, 745,000 sale and 1,086,304. So I predicted in my previous episode, we're going to have 125,000 transactions this year, and we still have November and December left. So let's see what happens. And if average price is, let's say 97 or 10,000, you can easily add another 20,000 or close to 19,000 transaction in November and October and December. So if you have not seen this before, I have talked about when there is a foreign buyer tips that I have discussed. There are a lot of episodes we went through details, and we always want to have a buyer prepare checklist. I want all the buyers who are making referral to me to prepare a buyer checklist and share data listing. If you as notice that the TREB is the largest real estate board in the world now, and if you have a property that you want me to help you the market and Toronto market, you can send listing to me and I can list your property for marketing on our TREB, because we have the capacity to list any property anywhere in the world, as long as there are consumer protection laws and you are representing your client. And we always prepare a estimate of closing costs. If you want me to help your buyer to sell your property, I need to know what is the closing cost. Those are the details that you are supposed to create for the buyer. And also, if you want me to advertise any of your property in Canada, you need to provide consent. Under the Real Estate Business Broker Act that is governed our business in province of Ontario, we need to have a consent of the seller or the agent representing or broker representing. So this is why it's very important. And we have, as you said, the world's largest MLS system that we can help promote your program. We also talk about referral agreement and fees. Those are individuals that we share with each other. And reason why we are working together to cooperate with each other is because of jurisdiction and due diligence. I can only practice in the province of Ontario, but being a FRI, we have 10 chapters in different provinces where I am connected with people, so we refer business to each other. Similarly, due diligence, we need to know about your product that we want to help or sell or market in this area. We need to have to do diligence. That's why it's important. I can only cooperate with the CIPS professional who are dealing with the properties in the country that has consumer protection laws because of liability and issues. When you make a referral fee, you get some fees for the referral, but it creates expectation from the buyers to make sure that we are doing our due diligence and helping each other. So being a CIPS, we follow the highest professional standards, and this is why it's very easy for us to work with our CIPS partners. So these are the buying real estate process. I mentioned about it. Your buyer, you select me to help, select a person. Then we search selection, we make the offer of the property, we show the property, we talk with the, so this is the process. And we satisfy the mortgage appraisal inspection condition. I'm giving you an example of that. Then APS is sent to the relevant lawyers for completion of transaction. All transactions are done in Ontario through the lawyer. So we coordinate everything. And then also lender will send funds to the buyer's lawyer. It will may be different from each jurisdiction. The lawyer will transfer the deed and registered mortgage chart. So this is the process that everything is being done now electronically. The lawyer will keep you posted. The real estate professional, CIPS or realtor, we continue to remain engaged from the day we sign a client as a buyer client until it is completed transaction. In Ontario, you don't get paid until the transaction is completed. So that the lawyer will secure a title insurance against the title fraud. This is the Ontario government. If there is someone trying to sell a property without, sometimes fraudulently, if your buyer client has invested money, they remain protected. This is important things to remember. Foreign buyer tips. Always prepare an estimate of closing costs. Non-resident and property buyer pay speculation tax 15%. This does not include any future taxes that's coming right now. There are lots of promises made by political party that continue to be our federal government. And in Ontario, we have municipal, three-level government: municipal, Ontario, which is provincial, and federal. So there are certain things the federal government can do, but they cannot implement those laws that governs by the Ontario jurisdiction or municipalities. So there is a withholding money to get clearance from CREA for sale tax. If you acquire a property as a foreign buyer and you're non-resident, then you have to, the lawyer has to hold the money, 25, 30%, and whatever taxes they paid, they get a certificate. In our presentation, our CIPS Global Network presentation, there is a presentation for a chartered accountant that specifies it. If you're looking for those, go to realtycoffeetalk.com and search for that tax presentation that we have. Consultation with chartered accountant is very, very important. You need to consult with the lawyer because lawyer will close it. Looking for tax implication, Ontario, federal or municipal taxes, you talk to them, and we are always available. We have a huge network on my brokerage that we continue to have conversation to make sure we're doing our service. So our client, foreign buyer can buy properties and secure mortgage financing. Yes, they can get the financing. I'm a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage Inc. license 13241. So I can help our client who are buying property through us. Number 7, buying real estate is not related to immigration. It is a separate process. Lots of people think that you buy property in Canada or Ontario and you will have a advantage over buying, getting immigration. No, it's a completely separate process. So I am your CIPS, your real estate connection to the world. I am a CIPS, and I want all of you, I'm sure majority of you are also member of Global Real Estate Profession Network. The reason I created Global Real Estate Profession Network because CIPS is a trademark of NAR, and I have a conversation with them, so I changed the name. So we are to exchange project information, listing, network, referral fee, referrals. Please join my private group on Facebook. And again, our next 10th Global Connected Conference will be on 16 December. I have to change the date. And Thank you very much for watching. If you have any question, please open your mic and have a free conversation. Yes, and now we're going to start from we can have a conversation. So, Trisha, could you please introduce yourself, your company, type of business you're doing, so everybody get 1 minute or two. We have time, so introduce yourself, Patricia.
Absolutely. Good morning. My name is Trisha Lehan. I live and work in Scottsdale, the greater Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona area. I lived and worked in Canada for 25 plus years. So starting in 2008, I sold my first $1 million home to a Canadian, and that started my journey on working with foreign nationals as my niche. And recently was just awarded the Scottsdale Association of Realtors Global 2021 Global Realtors. So truly honored. And I was able to serve with Pauline on the Canadian Real Estate Association Global Committee. So I'm very, very global. So thank you for the opportunity and great information you both shared. I think all of us would love the opportunity to get copies of the presentations.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tricia. I'm going to upload the slide of my presentation. I'm going to ask Pauline if she can email me. I can put that slide into as a one, and then I share with this is why I created the Global Real Estate Profession Network, where we only now reaching out to the friends who are actually doing work. I got a referral from people. I have driven 3,500 kilometers, still haven't done this deal yet. But this was referred by Frank Group, and I'm still working on it. So we'll share the slide with you and also this. So Pauline, go ahead, please introduce yourself so we can go through the channel. Everybody knows it. Pauline.
Yeah, everyone, nice to meet everyone here. Good morning. This is Mary. I'm in San Francisco Bay Area. So I got my CIPS for a couple of years already. I stay is global, but most of my client is from mainland China, from Taiwan, Singapore, that one. So nice to meet you. Everything in the future, I hope we have an opportunity to work together.
Wonderful, thank you, Mary. Pauline, you want to introduce yourself because maybe some other friends have joined a little bit later. Just yourself.
It's great to be here, and as Tricia mentioned, we had the great pleasure of serving together on the global committee at CREA, and I do a lot of work with U.S. buyers who come here to buy waterfront, because I am within an hour, actually less than an hour of the U.S. border at New York State. And I was thrilled that the Canadian government finally opened, or the US government finally opened the border for us Canadians. But finally, this week they announced that I have the great thing that I love to run over to Ogdensburg. That's where I ship everything from the US to a place in Ogdensburg. And I have not been there since the pandemic began, but they announced as of the end of the month, they didn't want us going over on Black Friday, that we'll be able to run over to the US and back in, if we're not gone 72 hours, we don't need a COVID test. So it's the most exciting news for Canadians, by the way.
Yeah, wonderful.
Look out, New York State.
Yeah, wonderful. Bernadette.
Hi everyone, yes, I'm Bernadette Denby and I'm in Ireland. So yes, I met Tricia and Yoshi. We never got to introduce each other, but you were always in around when I was with Jody and Miriam. I think I met you in San Francisco. So I suppose I actually have been to Boston and San Francisco for the conventions, and I'm hopefully going to Orlando. But yeah, look, I'm an auctioneer, valuer, and estate agent in Ireland. I've about 23 years experience working now in the property market here in Ireland. I'm a CIPS since around 2017 and have maintained my membership with NAR and CIPS since then. In Ireland, I'm a member of the Institute of Professional Auctioneers and Valuers, and some of our connections here on this group are actually international members of IPAV. So Frank, for instance, is an international IPAV member. And I suppose, look, I deal with all types of properties, whether it's residential, commercial, lands or sites. And I meet people that come from the States. My most recent one was a lady from Philadelphia who bought a house in my local area, and I look after it for her. Hi, Kelly Lee, we met at the convention too. I think the convention is just about bringing social to reality and actually making that connection. The relationships you formed on Facebook become reality when you meet face to face, and you know whether they're the people that you would be happy to do business with, or you know that they would be happy to do business with you. So Facebook is great, but reality is actually brilliant. So yeah, that's me, Bernadette Denby. So anybody needs any help at all here in Ireland, it's a small country, so there's always one of us here that can reach out and help you regardless of what your client's needs are.
It's wonderful. Thank you very much, Benedetta. This is very important. We are CIPS. We have a global connectivity. We have a tremendous experience and knowledge and hundreds of years of experience with everyone combined that we have joined the membership, so we can use each other's talents. Yesterday, I referred a client to BC for FRI because one of my clients wanted to buy rent in British Columbia, and I have no jurisdiction, so I referred to a FRI because he was an FRI referred to me. So we're going to talk to Yoshinori Ita.
Yes.
Tell
Good
us a
afternoon.
little bit about non-conference you attended also, please.
Yes. Okay. My name is Yoshi, and my base is New York City. I'm in business for close to 20 years, and I'm in the CIPS for over 10 years. And next year, I'll be a chairperson for a CIPS advisory board. So if you have any suggestion to improve our member benefits, please reach out to me. And also, I'm a founding member for FIAPC Mongolia. If you need anything for Mongolia, I have access to it. And originally from Japan, so if you need any CIPS member, you need to reach out. I have a connection, and I'll be a NAR global ambassador for Vietnam and Vietnam, Cambodia, and Indonesia for next years. So if you need any information, you can reach out. Sure, I was in the NAR conference last week. We had a global meeting on November 11 and 12. We had about 400 international attendees. It was so big. Normally we have like a 1,500 from overseas attendees out of 10,000, 20,000. But it was like very productive meeting and good networking because not too many people, easier to mingle. It was wonderful. And also attended a CIPS dinner cruise event. I mean, a FIAPC dinner cruise events and seminar events for FIAPC, breakfast events. Was very wonderful, good networking. And then wish next year, more people can join. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Leslie, can you speak a few minutes, please?
Can you hear me? Hold on a minute.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Yes, my name is Leslie Woods Hulse. I'm with Century 21 Redwood Realty in Ashburn, Virginia. We have a very large company, 14 offices actually, in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and then some agents that are also licensed in West Virginia. We work in the global market, of course, and I personally do the international forum for my local Realtors Association. And if anybody is looking in the Washington metropolitan area, I certainly would be able to help. I have referred other clients out of the country, one being recently, which was Belize. And the market here is just as crazy as it is everywhere else. So it's a great market to be in, whether buying or selling. In fact, I'm showing other people, wrote an offer on a large piece of property today. And so we'll see how that runs. But, and that's with another international purchaser. So it's very, very exciting business. And I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Leslie. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, to everyone who's participating. So Kelly, can you please unmute and speak for a few minutes? Okay, until she turns on her mic, I'm going to speak. You know, my name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. Brokerage. I have served as a real estate board director for Real Estate of Canada for 4 years. And now currently I'm a director of Mississauga Real Estate Board and chair of Education Committee. My focus has always been education. We don't need a sale pitch. We need to educate our client because there are a lot of ethical issues. Sometimes mistakes are done. So we want to make sure that we are helping our client through education. I have asked all our friends to please make sure, create the documents. If that checklist that I share with you, I can help you to take care of your client if you have a buyer coming here, or if you have some project that you want me to help to bring you a buyer client, the checklist I have provided you, please share that information with me, and then I will help you to sell make a referral to you as a buyer client from Canada. So now Kelly is here, so I'm going to ask Kelly to introduce herself. Kelly, go ahead.
Hi, this is Kelly Frederick. I may not have very good reception. I'm in the middle of the ocean on my yacht. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm also a CIPS instructor as well, and taught one of the first CIPS courses to South Korea earlier this year, which was absolutely amazing. And I was at NAR and attended the pinning ceremony, so I got to see some of my wonderful students, colleagues, friends from South Korea. I've been doing international transactions for years. I'm also Florida Realtors faculty as well. And now I'm on the board of directors for Florida Realtors, doing that as well. And of course, different committees that I served on through NAR this year and Florida Realtors. So very much enjoying. I instruct different courses through NAR, but my main market will be the Tampa Bay area in Florida. So again, reception is a little bit off, but I joined you about every month since you've started. So I always like being a part of this, and I love hearing everyone else's story. And NAR was very amazing. It was just nice to be together. We attended some of the global business and alliance meetings, and of course, international night out, and of course, reception on Thursday with our international colleagues. So just a very, very good time. People were very glad to be together, good networking, good courses. The general sessions were amazing, and got to spend time. As I teach with RBI as well, so I was enjoying being with them. RBI won the Global Engagement Award this year, so that was very huge. So just glad to be a part of all this global. I'm very glad to see all of you all, and I hope you all can hear me okay. Hopefully next time I'll be in an area where the sound will be a little. I got two massive diesel engines underneath me, so it's a little bit loud. I apologize, but glad to see you all and happy Thanksgiving.
Lucky you, Kelly. Can we come down next time?
You absolutely can. So we're coming out of St. Petersburg. We're headed down to Fort Myers to Pink Shell, to the Pink Shell Marina and Resort, spending Thanksgiving there through Sunday. And it's a lovely place to be. We have two puppies, Aussie Doodles, so they're with us, and they allow puppies on the beach and all the fun things. So we're looking forward to just relaxing, hanging out together. I did a trade mission to Portugal earlier this year, came back a week, and my husband went to Germany. So I think we're fun just to be together this week. I say four of us with the puppies. And then my daughter lives in Shanghai, China. She's been there for 4 years, finished her grad school there, and now has been working for a biotech company. So she'll be here end of December for about 6 weeks. So we'll be heading off in the boat again with her for a little bit. There goes a big wave, you saw it. And we'd love to have you all. If you all come to St. Petersburg, please come see me. Kelly Lee McFrederick. I work with Premier Sotheby's International Realty, and I love what I do.
This is amazing, isn't it? The network that we have. We're building. Yes. We are so many CIPS. but the only people who take first step forward to create the connectivity, build bond with each other, and then you create that trust that you feel that you can make refer to your friend. Not only we do business, but we also become a family friend, knowing each other, knowing about each other family, connecting that's the power of connectivity that we are hoping that we continue to grow and look after each other. And when we have a chance, we go and meet and do business together. So please feel free to open your mic. Have any question, Pauline? It's a great honor that you join us today. And all of you, I admire the talent of our ladies. You listen, majority, women's power. Look at this, majority is yours. More leaders are from the women. Me and Yoshi are only two, minority. That's the power. That's empowerment. And then I believe in Ontario, we have 54% girls are the realtors. So I think Pauline maybe tell us about federal, but in Ontario,
it's interesting. Women are beginning to dominate, of course, the real estate market. But I have to tell you, when I came in 40 some odd years ago, we were such a minority. There was hardly any women realtors. So it was very much an all boys network. So I have a question for Bernadette, though. I'm dying to know, what's the market like in your area? Are you seeing lots of multiple offers? I'm just, my family background is Irish, so I absolutely love Ireland. I have to tell you that. It's one of my favorite places to visit. So I'm dying to know, is your market busy or?
Yeah, it is the same story here as everywhere else. And after being to the conference and talking to everybody, we all have the same story to tell, that there's a high demand and a shortage of supply. And obviously throughout the summer months, there was a little bit of a frenzy. It was more like people panicking about having to buy and, get their property. But since I'd say early September, there's been a bit of a calming. And I suppose people realizing, look, we're not just going to get something as quickly as we hoped. We're going to have to be patient and wait. So yeah, though we still have multiple offers, it's not quite as frenzied. People are not quite as panicked, and they're taking their time and only bidding to what they feel is right for them. But yeah, the market is the same. You get it in, if it's a good property and it's priced right, it'll turn over in a reasonable time scale. Our system is slightly different than yours, in relation to offers and the time scale that the process takes. But other than that, the demand and supply is just far and wide as far as I can see.
It's true in GTA also, Toronto and GTA area. Average price, I remember the highest I learned was 39 offer on one single detached home. And average on a condominium or semi is about 10 offers. And if you look in a semi-detached or detached home, between 13 to 15 offers. There's only one buyer, lucky guy. But that creates a concern also, whether when they're doing a closing, if they take a longer closing and lots of people are not putting any conditions. I did seminars on that, putting an unconditional offer where appraisal comes at a later date, because when bank wants to give you money 10 days before the closing, they do appraisal. And if the price changes or something happens at that time, they will not be given to fund the project. Right now, escalation is going on, speculation. But if there is any correction or any adjustment in price, or they have a doubt, they will not give you the approved purchase value, then buyer has to come up with extra funds. And this is why it's very important, because people are putting unconditional offer. And also, I give you an example of one of my buyer client. We got pre-approved, good income, everything. Their expectation was to buy something from 750 to 800. They bought for 960. And 13 offers. And we have to do a lot of calculation based on property sold 950 2 days ago or a week ago, and they're listed for 699. And this is so bad for realtors. Why would they hire a realtor if they cannot read a loss report showing 950 in the same compound and you're listing for 699? This is an ethical issue, professional issue. Real Estate Council of Ontario doesn't say anything is a seller's choice and there's no law broken. But it's come to consumer mind that if I can list any price and I can get any price, why would I need a realtor? And this is why I promote people to list a reasonable price based on historic sold data that you have to make sure that what would happen. One of the transaction 6 months ago, someone put the same thing and nobody put an offer, and I bought it a good price for our client, 700. Now they're selling for 900 and same 6 months later. So it can backfire sometime. So it's very, very important to do your groundwork, do search, educate your client, especially when you're listing. When you're buying it, majority of this, I do not know in other jurisdiction. On my brokerage, when we are buying a property for a buyer, we do CMA. Normally CMA is done by when you're selling it, but we do it when we're buying it to make sure all analyses are done, comparables are collected, data comparison done, and come up with adjusted value of the property that we're putting an offer. So there is a logical basis for putting an offer. And sometimes you have to ask your buyer client, be patient, don't go overboard or don't go without following the logic. And those logic of what we're gonna go maximum price is done prior to entering into a negotiation or putting an offer. Lots of people go emotion, pay over price. I just learned because every day I get calls. One girl called me that one of the agent has to arrange a second mortgage for the closing costs because she put so much money in the offer, she has no money to close the deal. And now some of the bank will not give you mortgage if you have a second mortgage. So they're going to breach the agreement with the lender who gave the money. And they did something to put the money and then later on get a charge on second mortgage to pay back to the vendor fees and second mortgage and closing costs. So these are the things that we do as a CIPS, real estate professional. We do our due diligence and educate our client. There are lots of episodes that I have created, maybe more than 100 on realtycoffeetalk.com. I request all of you to please subscribe my YouTube channel. You will learn a lot and you can also share your experience with me. And if you want to become my program, Realty Coffee Talk is on a TV show. It's since started March 5th, 2020. And we have more than 100 episodes already. So I thank you. I take this opportunity to thank you for all joining and sharing your knowledge and experience. I'm looking forward to build my partnership with you and make a referral to you. Thank you very much.
I want to give a shout out.
Thanksgiving to all of you
Shout out to CREA.
in the United States and around the world. And may God bless you. We'll see you on December 16 at 1 p.m. And I'll share the slide. I'm going to ask Pauline to send me the slides so I can combine them and share it to you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on December 16 at 1 p.m. Thank you. Bye for now.